Welcome to a brand new Renaissance Gaming production. Today I am bringing you King's Quest II Romancing the Stones. This is the VGA remake of the game. It plays exactly as the original, but it does have some improved visuals, as well as voice acting and music. It's a great experience all around. I am of course playing this game in preparation for Chapter 3 of the new King's Quest game, which comes out later this month, so get excited about that. I've already played through the first King's Quest game, and I plan on playing through all of them as I await the new chapters of the current King's Quest games, so subscribe to my channel for all the King's Quest you could ever desire. Now, this game plays a lot like a fairy tale. It's much longer than the first game, so I recommend you get your laptop or iPad and watch this snuggled in bed as a bedtime story. It's gonna be great fun. Enjoy the intro, and I'll see you as soon as it's done.
Your Majesty. King Graham?
Yes, Minister,
Gervain, sire.
Of course. My apologies, Gervain.
Not necessary, Your Majesty. After all, I've been your security and defense minister for but a short while.
Yes. Where did you say you were from again?
Just some small, insignificant land to the far south. Pales greatly in comparison to your realm, my lord.
Do you have something to report?
As a matter of fact, my liege, there's a small concern regarding the duty shifts of some of the castle guards and of the countryside patrols. Also, we are expecting our armed entourage from our nearest neighbor to return within the week. And there is the matter of an alliance with... My liege?
My apologies again, Minister Gervain. Please, continue.
Yes. As I was saying, there is the matter of an alliance with Hesperia. They have become a strong nation now, and it may be prudent to show our willingness to support them, lest they decide we are more of a hindrance than a help.
Does the king there have any daughters who've come of age?
I do not believe so, sire. As for the security arrangements for the royal ball held last week, I do believe the evening went by very smoothly. I dare say just about every princess in this region attended, and not one lost slipper, to coin a phrase.
Ugh, please, do not remind me.
Indeed, they were none too fetching. Would you like me to go over your plans for today, my lord? Very well.
Oh, forgive me once again. I am afraid that my mind wanders much these days. I wonder if my predecessor experienced times like these.
No doubt. Though I did not know King Edward the Benevolent personally, I understand he was a happy and astute man during his married life, before his wife passed away, that is. If I may be so bold, perhaps my lord is feeling that certain rooms in his castle are somewhat sparsely filled. The throne room, for example, and other rooms that serve but a single soul, like your dining room and your bed chambers.
Perhaps, but I do fear I've met no such candidates that would fill the rooms you have mentioned.
You should not lose heart, Your Majesty. If you pause to reflect for but a moment, you may see clearly what is hidden to others.
You gaze into the mirror. The minister's words seem to echo in your head. If you pause to reflect for but a moment, Not that you've been doing much else lately. For many weeks now, you've been reflecting over the direction your life has taken. While Daventry has prospered under your wise leadership, so far your existence has been a dreadfully lonely one. Wait, the mirror is changing. As you watch, you begin to see a series of images, though you struggle to fathom their meaning. You recognize the landscape. It is Colima, a land not far from Daventry. You see the most beautiful woman you have ever set eyes upon. Somehow you can feel her sadness and her intense desire to leave that place. She is a prisoner in that tower.
Did you find what you were looking for, sire?
I require my ship ready for transport, Gervain. I shall be going on a trip presently.
Indeed. Where shall I tell the captain you'll be heading?
To Kolyma. I have to find someone.
I see. Well, if you must go, it is my duty to ensure that you leave prepared. Arm yourself, sire. I hear Colima is not the safe haven it once was.
Of course. I shall take the sword of the first king, as is my right.
A wise precaution, sire. And, if I may be so brash to ask, who might you be seeking?
If all goes well, my bride.
Father,
Sister Agatha,
how may I be of service?
an opportunity has arisen, sister. I trust you still have your captive held securely away.
Of course.
A bit cruel keeping her locked away like that, do you not think?
No. How dare she flaunt her beauty in front of all to see? Her foolish male admirers see her and forget that I was the most beautiful of all in my day.
And in your own special way, you are still beautiful.
You devil!
That is not an unfair description.
Now, you mentioned a service, I believe.
Yes, the King of Daventry has advised his faithful minister that he shall be departing for Colima presently. On a quest, you might say.
Really? What kind?
The kind that involves sticking his neck out to rescue a damsel in distress.
And what have I to do with his neck?
Put simply, my dear, sever it.
Okay, so quite a long introduction, but a very entertaining one. And this episode in general is going to be a little bit longer, just to get things rolling, so let's go ahead and begin.
A day's journeying from Daventry has found you by the shores of Kolyma. Your ship, the Grand Thor, and its crew have deposited you and will return the day after tomorrow. Hopefully this will give you enough time to locate and release the imprisoned woman you saw in the magic mirror.
Okay, so for those of you not familiar, this is a point-and-click adventure game, so you can interact with the environment by pointing and clicking in a variety of different ways. And I will be getting all 185 points in this playthrough, because you know me, I play every game to 100% completion. That's the way we do it around here. Now you could spend hours interacting with the environment and clicking every different thing in a million different ways and get all sorts of funny dialogue. I'll try to point out some of the more entertaining ones, but I'm not going to click everything, or we'll be here for 200 episodes. So I'm going to swim out here and grab this net that's kind of stuck here.
You untangle the net from the pylon and take it with you.
Don't
throw that in.
So that's the first point of the game. You can see I'm at 1 out of 185. So I'm just going to begin the adventure, kind of make sure that I'm hitting some of the important things early on in the game. It's a million different ways to beat the game. You don't need all 185 points. You can do things in a certain order. I'm just going to go with something that seems logical to me. There's this fallen picket here. Let me see if I can take that with me.
The fallen picket feels reasonably sturdy and is pointed at one end. Believing that you may find a use for it, you retrieve it and carry it with you.
Excellent. Let's keep going. I'm going to keep going to the north. And I'm just using my mouse wheel to scroll through the actions. And again, if you guys don't know, this is a free game, so I highly recommend you get this game and play it through on your own before watching this playthrough. Now, right here, I am looking for a little girl named Possum. Sometimes she's not here, so I can just leave and come back in a couple of times, and hopefully she'll pop up. Alright, there she is, finally. So I can speak with her.
Repressing the urge to burst into song, you choose instead to quietly admire the area.
That's what happens if you misclick her.
Hello, who are you?
My name is Graham. What is yours?
Possum. That is what my grandma calls me. She is not at all well these days. I was collecting flowers for her, but now I cannot anymore.
Why is that?
My basket is missing. I looked everywhere for it. It must be around here somewhere.
I will keep my eye out for it.
Thank you, Graham.
And optionally, you can keep talking to her.
I was wondering, could you tell me anything about this land?
Get more backstory.
Colima? There is a town to the northeast, and a church not far south of that. Grandma and I live in a house near the beach. You should not enter the swamp to the north. It is said to be influenced by magic. Many have easily lost their way in there, and finding your way out again is difficult.
Thank you, Possum. Is there any way at all through this swamp?
I do not know, but I did see someone walking out of there not long ago. He was writing something in a book as he walked.
Who was that?
A monk from the church.
You mentioned that your grandma is not well. What ails her?
I'm not sure, but I think it gives her sad dreams. While she sleeps, sometimes she talks out loud. Sometimes I listen to her. No, do not leave me, she says. At first, I thought she was speaking to me. I would go over to her, but she would not notice me. Then I realized it was a dream. I think she misses the person she talks to in her sleep. And then there's the scary dreams.
You mentioned that your grandma had scary dreams. What are these dreams about?
Bats.
Bats?
Yes, in her sleep, she screams with fright, as if a bat is chasing her, or she's being hurt by one. Then she'll say something like, "Blue light is the bat's true bane," over and over.
Blue light? What does she mean?
I have asked her this, but she just shakes her head and will not speak of it.
Thank you, Possum. I wish your grandma a swift recovery.
Thank you, Gram. I will speak of you to her.
Okay, and that's basically all I can talk to Possum about. So let me continue adventuring. I like to get the backstory here, as opposed to just going through the game as quickly as possible. So let me investigate this log.
You look under the log and discover a clam lying beneath it. You pick it up.
Okay, so let me open up the clam in my inventory.
You open the clam and discover, to your surprise, a dazzling pearl.
Nice. Let me take my net back, and then let me move along. We go to the south here. I like this beach area. It's quite nice. I like the sound effects here too. So there's a little duck here. Now in the real world, I highly don't recommend you do this. But in this game at least, you can throw your net over it. Don't catch the local wildlife.
You walk into position and try to catch the baby bird.
So mean.
You throw the net over the pond, and the baby bird is caught unharmed.
Thankfully, at least we didn't hurt him. Okay, so let me go this way. It looks like there is a beautiful lemon tree here.
A large lemon tree grows by the path.
Okay, so let me take one.
You reach out and pluck a large, juicy-looking lemon from the tree.
Right, and I'm going to continue going eastward here, as opposed to following the path. The path is going to lead to town, but I want to do that a little later. There's a cool little house here built into the tree.
What is this? There's a door built into the trunk of a large tree. It appears to be closed.
So I'll deal with that later. For now, I'm just going to go south here. And immediately, I see some gold on the floor. Let me take a look at it.
3 gold coins shimmer in a nearby patch of grass.
Now, you can kind of see a trap set up here, so I don't want to fall for that. So let me go ahead and take my sword, and I'll use it on the trapped coins here. Perfect. And now I can take the coins and not get hurt.
As you pick up the gold coins, they suddenly turn dark. Now they resemble ordinary metal. Wait a minute. This isn't gold. It's fool's gold.
So it was a trick all along. And if you're playing this game by yourself, make sure you save often, because there are plenty of ways you can die in this game, and then you kind of have to start from your last saved point. Or start over if you haven't saved, and nobody wants to do that. Check the log here.
You peer into the depths of the dark hole. As luck would have it, you discover a beautiful set of earrings hidden inside. Each one is laced with glittering diamonds and contains a lovely blue sapphire stone in the center. Perhaps someone stashed them here. At any rate, you take them into your possession.
Nice. King Graham's a bit of a dick. He just runs around stealing people's stuff. That's okay, though. Speaking of which, there's this beautiful little cottage here, and I'm just gonna barge into the mailbox, steal her mail, read it.
You open the mailbox. Inside there is, incredibly, a letter addressed to the resident. You decide to leave it in there. A card has been dropped in it also. You read it.
Have you been missing church services lately? How long a while since your last confession? There is still time yet to repent your sins before the final hour. Come to the Church of Kolyma to pray for your own salvation, or just to make a donation. Put your faith back into the church and walk the path that has been laid down before you. Hours from dusk till dawn.
You replace the card and close the mailbox.
So again, that's not necessary for any points or anything, but I do like to get into as much of the backstory as possible. And now at this point in the game, I am just going to run around the woods looking for Possum's basket that she mentioned she lost. It can be in a number of places, it can be over here, it can be in some other spots as well, so I just have to walk around until I find it. It is random where you do find it, so it might take me a little while, and if it does, I'll do some smooth editing, because I have that power when I'm making videos. I can edit stuff. It's incredible. If my video's crappy, I edit out the crappy areas. It's perfect. If I'm spending 3 hours looking for a basket, I can edit that out too. I will say that I am super excited about Chapter 3 of the most recent King's Quest game coming out in a few days, though. I've been waiting a long time. It takes me a very short time to beat the episodes, so I'm always waiting for the next one. Okay, I finally found her basket over here. So let me take that bad boy.
You take the basket.
Excellent. Now let me go give it back to the person it belongs to. Do one good deed around here, am I right? All I've done is cause mayhem. Stealing people's stuff. Kidnapping a little duck with a net. Just all sorts of mean stuff. Okay.
You hand the basket to Possum.
Thank you, kind sir. Please take this flower. I'm afraid it's all I have to give you.
It is more than enough. I notice that you have picked only yellow flowers.
Of course. Is it not customary for one to pick yellow flowers for another who's gravely ill?
Certainly it is. I'm sorry to hear about your grandma, Possum.
Thank you. Goodbye.
So Possum is going to walk off, at least for now. I'm going to continue exploring. The only thing this game is missing is a good soundtrack. There's a few little tunes that play here or there, but in general there's not really any background music going on. Looks like we've got a beautiful swan lake here. So maybe I can return this little guy to the pond and the wildlife.
You release the little bird into the pond.
Oh, how nice. The ugly duckling. So if you haven't realized it yet, King's Quest relies very heavily on fairy tales, which is all fine and dandy.
You pick up the white feather and put it carefully away.
Yeah, let me keep going this way. So there's a nice pumpkin patch here. You may remember there was a pumpkin patch in the first chapter of the most recent King's Quest game, and it's kind of a reference to this right here.
This pumpkin is somewhat larger than the others in the patch.
Let me try to take it.
You look for a nice, large pumpkin to take from the patch.
Hey, watch it!
Oh, sorry. I was not aware you could talk.
Likewise. Anyway, be careful where you're treading. You're spoiling the good soil by standing so close. And I got 8 kids to feed.
You glance at the smaller pumpkins. These must be her children.
I only count 7.
Yeah, well, I had 8. Then some strange man who spoke even stranger came by. He claimed to be a horticle. Claimed to know a bit about plants. I let him take a look at my little darlings. Anyway, before I knew it, he'd gone and pinched one of my babies. Took off towards the town, he did. Of all the naive. Just because we're plants doesn't mean we don't deserve any respect.
I am sure that is true.
I really like this pumpkin's accent. I think it's really funny. Really enjoy her character.
Pardon me for asking, but how did you come by the ability to talk?
With a question like that, I might ask you the same.
I was only...
I don't take it personal. That old witch Agatha cast a spell on me so I could guide her precious possessions.
Hagatha?
Yeah, she's the old bag who lives in that cave to the west. You know her type. Green warts, pointed ears, cannibalistic, doesn't put her trash out. Just your stereotypical evil old crown.
She sounds pleasant. You mentioned something about guarding Hagatha's precious possessions.
At least, what she considers precious.
I reckon they're anything but. Mind you, I have my doubts about Hagatha's legitimate ownership of this stuff, if you know what I mean.
What sorts of items does Hagatha wish you to guard?
Oh, the usual vanities. All useless in my opinion. But what would I know?
The mother pumpkin looks distressed. You decide not to interrupt her at the moment.
Alright, so we're getting more backstory about the evil witch Hagatha that we saw in the introduction. So I think it's time to head into town. She said that the man who stole her pumpkin made his way over that way. And, you know, I'm quite touched by her story. I kind of want to be able to help her out, if at all possible. So let me go into town. And this is a painfully long walk that he takes on this winding path here. He just goes pretty slowly. And he stays on the path. He doesn't cut across the grass. He could just take a straight line, but no, he goes around winding back and forth. What a clown. And this is pretty obvious right here, this big hole in the tree. Let me dig in there.
When you peer into the hole of the pine tree, you see a mallet lying there. You pick it up and take it with you.
Okay, let me continue going north into town. And you can see finally, we are at the town of Colima. There's the sign.
The sign reads, Kolyma.
Excellent. Big, beautiful wall.
The only means of entering the town are currently open.
So let me check out this haystack here. It's quite suspicious.
Hey!
What? Who said that?
I did.
Huh?
I'm down here, in the hay.
Oh. Well, who are you?
My name is,
Yes?
I can't seem to remember.
Well then, what are you?
Oh, I'm
Yes?
Can't seem to remember that either.
Well, what are you doing in this haystack?
That's easy. I was looking for,
You can't remember.
no. Sorry.
How long have you been in there?
Let's see. It couldn't be longer than,
Yes?
3, maybe 4 weeks.
Weeks?
Yep.
Pardon me for saying, but you sound as if you have a bit of a cold.
Yes. It's all this hay. It's giving me hay fever.
Okay, so quite an interesting little character there. And I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. In the next one, we're going to head into town and start investigating some of the things in there. I hope you're excited about this series. Trust me, stick with it. This is a really cool game. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun watching it. It's a really good story. And I hope you'll join me. Be sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to my channel for all the King's Quest content that your heart could desire. And I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.